Right now, live at 5, many Americans have some extra money in the bank as the first round of COVID-19 stimulus checks are dispersed. Plus, a funding freeze. That's the message from the White House as the president blames a global organization for a lack of warning on the coronavirus pandemic.
Plus, how one apartment complex is stepping up and helping those in need.
And later, a Duluth company shifts gears to making hospital gowns, and they'll be given to healthcare workers for free.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Live at 5. Here's a live look over the historic Old Central School in Duluth. Later on this half hour, we'll hear about how the Minnesota Education Commission is handling an unprecedented time for students and staff. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. We are learning within the last hour, U.S. Steel is laying off employees at its mine in Keewatin.
This comes less than a month after U.S. Steel announced it would be idling some operations in other parts of the country in response to COVID-19. According to a letter sent out by USW Local 2660, operation employees who have worked at the mine 3 years or less will be laid off effective April 19th. Meanwhile, maintenance employees who have worked there 3 years or less will continue working until the outage is complete. According to the letter, the tentative plan is to have Keetac shut down by the end of May. The letter also states that union leadership is working to negotiate a layoff minimization plan with the company. Calls to U.S. Steel were not returned as of Wednesday afternoon. No word on exactly how many employees this will affect. Now, this comes just 2 days after Cleveland Cliffs announced they are laying off nearly 500 employees at the North Shore Mine, which impacts miners in Silver Bay and Babbitt.
Minnesota's American Civil Liberties Union branch is suing the state's corrections department, saying inmates at the Moose Lake Prison are in danger due to COVID-19. ACLU reps are asking the prison to release inmates. 12 inmates at the Moose Lake Prison have tested positive for COVID-19. 31 more are presumed to have the virus. The ACLU claims the prison is failing to keep inmates safe. Corrections department officials have said they're isolating inmates as much as possible. Well, COVID-19 stimulus money has started arriving in millions of Americans' bank accounts. If you make under a certain amount, that means $1,200 check from the government and more if you're married or have kids. CBS 3's John Cardinelli joins us live now. John, you spoke with the financial advisor today. What did he have to say?
That's right, Tony. I spoke with Scott Walschlager, president of Midwest Professional Planners, and he shared some tips on how the money could be used to its full extent. Whether you've been laid off and struggling to pay the bills or have a little bit of financial flexibility, no matter what situation you're in, he says it's important to have a plan. Rather than going out and spending it on anything, Walschlager recommends analyzing your financial status and spending the money on critical expenses first. For those who have debt, he recommends paying creditors who have rights to your property, such as your house or car, first, so it doesn't get taken away. Secondly, he said pay credit cards as it is unsecured debt, meaning nothing could be taken away from you. Walschlager recommends making the minimum payments with his money because you can stretch it out for a long time. He also offered some advice for those who might have some flexibility.
It might be tempting when you get this check, if you still have a job, to go spend that money or pay down a credit card or something, but I think it'd be really smart to maybe sit on that cash and wait till things have really started to stabilize or improve.
He also added that for those who have at least 3 to 6 months cash in an emergency fund, it would not be a bad idea to invest money in the stock market as long as you have the financial means to stay in it long term. And coming up tonight at 10, I'll speak to a businesswoman, how she plans on spending the stimulus check, and we'll also have more tips on how to spend that stimulus check wisely.
I know a lot of people were waiting for it. CBS 3's John Cardinelli live for us tonight. Thanks, John. Well, you might be wondering when to expect your stimulus payment or if you'll be getting one. The IRS has set up a tracking system. We have a link to that on our website, cbs3duluth.com.
Today is April 15th, which usually means your taxes are due, but not this year. A reminder that due to COVID-19, the IRS moved the 2019 federal income tax filing deadline to July 15th. Taxpayers can also defer federal income tax payments to July 15th without penalties or interest. You are still encouraged to file your taxes as early as possible. IRS officials say most tax refunds are still being sent out within 21 days.
The World Health Organization is pushing back against President Trump's decision to halt funding to the agency in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. The battle comes as the federal government continues to weigh how and when to begin reopening the country. Skylar Henry reports from the White House.
Members of the Trump administration continue to cast blame on the World Health Organization for the coronavirus outbreak, claiming the WHO didn't give the U.S. enough warning.
They knew for a while, and they dragged their feet, it looks like, and we just want to know what they knew and was the truth there.
Just yesterday, the president announced he's freezing funding to the international body as his administration reviews its response to the pandemic.
There will be lessons for all of us to learn. But for now, our focus, my focus, is on stopping this virus.
In a statement Wednesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called President Trump's action dangerous and illegal, adding the decision would be swiftly challenged. President Trump says he's planning to issue revised social distancing guidelines soon to help restart the stalled economy.
It's going to be very, very close, maybe even before the date of May 1st.
The Washington Post obtained a draft proposal of CDC and FEMA guidance for state and local governments. The agencies are recommending that first, there's confidence that infection rates are genuinely low, and the health system has the capacity to handle a new surge of cases. And there needs to be a well-functioning system to test and trace patients.
They're diagnosed, and then they're isolated, and then their contacts are traced. That's going to be fundamental. This outbreak got beyond containment this time. We need to get it back, so the containment's an important part of our overall strategy.
Some Americans have started seeing government relief checks from last month's $2.2 trillion stimulus package. The one-time payments are designed to be a lifeline for tens of millions feeling the financial strain of the virus.
Here's a look at the number of cases of coronavirus in our region. Michigan is now at more than 28,000 with about 1,900 deaths. Wisconsin has 3,700 cases and 182 deaths. And in Minnesota, there are 1,800 cases with 87 deaths. Worldwide, total cases have topped 2 million with more than 500,000 recoveries. All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Well, it's a little bit warmer today than yesterday, Tony, which is a small sign that improving conditions will be with us and culminate with a warm spell on Saturday, maybe only for Saturday. A little bit windy, a little bit cloudy right now, just above. A few minutes ago, had a hawk cruising around. Good thing my chihuahua's inside the house. Probably would have made a good snack for that bird. Well, let's talk about what's going on right now with a live local look at what's happening around our region here up towards Grand Portage, where the day is beautiful there as well. Still a little bit of snow on the ground. We're hoping for some warmer temperatures to help finish off the process of melting the snow, but it's going to be a slow process. It was a little bit warmer today than yesterday. Come tomorrow, it'll be a little bit warmer than today. Our day planner for Thursday says that it should be partly cloudy thanks to higher air pressure. Morning start of 19 with the daytime high finish of 43. Getting closer to normal. What's to follow by Friday, Saturday? I'll let you know in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, an annual running event goes virtual. Plus, construction is set to begin in Coleraine. That's coming up in City by City.
And tonight at 6, Governor Walz has extended the peacetime emergency for the state of Minnesota. What you need to know about the order and how it impacts residents.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS 3. CBS 3 News is brought to you by Steel Power Tools.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christine Ripp, a family physician at St. Luke's P.S. Rudy Medical Clinic. Biking to work sets me up to have a great mood and a great attitude for the rest of the day. In a health system where sometimes patients can be seeing multiple different specialists, a primary care physician puts all those together. We act as a team leader to make sure that they are getting the care that they need. What I'm doing is taking care of people and making them happier and healthier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. 50% of patients with glaucoma do not know they have the disease. Call us at LifeView Glaucoma Center to schedule an appointment with glaucoma specialist Dr. Aponte. We're now accepting new patients at both our Hibbing and Ashland locations. You may also call to schedule a telemedicine visit with home eye pressure measurements. Call us at 218-517-5151 or visit our website today to send us an appointment request.
Essentia Health is offering COVID-19 assessments at no cost. If you're feeling ill, start an e-visit. For questions or concerns, call 1-833-494-0836.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the new Triple Pep for just $9. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Our goal is an environment of decency, quality, and mutual respect for all human beings and all other living creatures. It's tremendously encouraging to see all across this country the remarkable interest on an issue, which is not only just an issue of survival, but an issue of how we survive.
A small idea, a world of change. Join us on April 22nd to commemorate 50 years of Earth Day.
Here's a live look out over Duluth Harbor. It's been a relatively mild day. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the rest of the Northland. Construction gets underway for a new iron ore plant in Coleraine, plus runners go virtual in Grand Rapids. That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. Let's kick things off in Coleraine, where construction is set to begin next month on a new iron ore processing plant. The multi-million-dollar project will be built along the site of a rail facility once owned by Magnetation. The plant will process leftover iron ore waste to be used by steel plants. In Grand Rapids, the 8th annual Stomp on Stigma 5K is still on, but it's getting a virtual twist due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Children's Mental Health Services in Grand Rapids sponsors the event. They are adapting to the current situation by taking the race virtual. Runners will have from May 1st to May 31st to complete their 5K and are encouraged to share photos and videos with the hashtag StompTwenty20. Now to Sawyer County, Wisconsin, where the U.S. Forest Service will not be allowing camping or fires at the Shawamkin-Nicolet National Forest. This is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That announcement was made Friday. The Forest Service is also limiting groups to 10 or fewer people. They say that reservations through May will be refunded. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, Duluth PAC is stepping up to support healthcare workers.
And Dave will be in with your full 7-day forecast coming up.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over-the-air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
I'm Carrie Harris, owner of Diabetic and Comfort Shoes. We have been in business in the Northland helping you with your everyday foot problems stemming from diabetes to plantar fasciitis for the past 17 years. Stop in and see the complete line of men's and women's shoes, from SAS to Allegria to Vionic, for those millions of people battling plantar fasciitis. And we still have a great selection of comfortable shoes for diabetics, Medicare and Minnesota Healthcare approved. Remember, no foot problem is too big or too small. We'll find the way to your soul.
Don't risk life or limb cleaning out your gutters. With one simple click or call, Gutter Helmet will provide a free inspection and estimate to eliminate the dangerous chore permanently. Our certified installers will clean out, tune up, install Gutter Helmet over new or existing gutters, and clean up the work area in less than a day. Gutter Helmet blends in beautifully with your home, is engineered to handle the heaviest of rainfalls, and is backed by a lifetime transferable warranty, assuring you'll never clean your gutters again. Gutter Helmet, retiring ladders since 1981.
Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app.
Suddenly, it seems everything around us has been turned upside down. We need a place to turn to for answers.
Dr. Jerome Adams, how soon could we have a therapeutic in the hands of our caregivers?
Truth.
Should we be advising people to wear masks?
Great question. And to make sense of our world.
We're all trying to learn something during this. Just saying thank you means so much.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell on CBS.
Take up to 25% off the North Face now at NorthwestOutlet.com.
Always Always on the go, but want to keep up with the day's news? Don't worry. Now we are wherever you are. Traveling? No problem. Stream wherever, whenever with live local CBS3.
Conditions today are a little bit better than they were yesterday. A little more sun than cloud and fewer flurries. Finally, trough of lower pressure is finally edging over towards New England, allowing higher pressure that's been noodling around for a couple of days to finally nose into the region. Tomorrow, I think we'll have some sunshine, more than today, and that'll start to nudge temperatures upwards. Well, this week is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and today's topic of discussion is floods, and there is flooding happening over towards Brainerd. Not much here in our neck of the woods this year so far, which is a good thing, but the bottom line is the rule for floods is if you see it, turn around, don't drown. Tomorrow, tornado drills, at least in Minnesota, 2 of them, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. Friday's topic will be extreme heat. Boy, I think we could frankly use a little bit of heat around here. Friday, for a lot of beekeepers, will be the day our queens and our worker bees arrive, and frankly, they don't like the cold. I've had a few of those rooks, whatever you call them, be killed by cold weather this time of year. Keep our fingers crossed for a warm-up, and I do think it will warm up once we get into Saturday. Could cross into the 50s, so if we do get our bees, it should be good for them for at least a day. Now we take a look at what's happening around the region here with the current conditions at Duluth International Airport. It's 32. The wind is westerly at 14 miles per hour, and our air pressure 30.6 on the higher side, thanks to that high finally coming more firmly into place after a couple days worth of little bits of lower pressure. And frankly, that trough of lower pressure still kept the flurry chance going today, and you might see a couple pop off here as the evening goes on. Frankly, these are lasting about 12 hours longer than I thought, but that recalcitrant high is finally coming in from the northwest and should displace all of that for Thursday and for Friday, and bringing sunny conditions for both days, but perhaps only for those 2 days, because once we get into Saturday and Sunday, that low pressure system from the west starts to nose into our region as well, getting rid of the high, or the high dives farther to the south, and we get clouds to increase on Saturday and a rain shower chance to pop up on Sunday, but it is only a 30% chance. Forecast here tonight in Minnesota, we are looking for a mostly cloudy sky with low temps that'll run the range of 11 near Ely to 22 by the lake. It was chilly this morning. Hibbing set another record cold temp this year. It's their third, only 6 above. Low temperatures for Wisconsin and Michigan for the overnight. They should be a little bit on the brisker side, but comparatively not as bad as this morning, running from about 15 to 19 degrees with a partly cloudy sky on that side of the border and a west wind that'll be a gentle 5 to 10 miles per hour. Forecast for Wisconsin and the UP tomorrow is calling for a partly cloudy sky with highs running from about 40 to 45, so slow but steady improvement on the temperature trends here, and that trend will even get into Minnesota for tomorrow. Partly cloudy sky there with highs from 39 to 45. West wind goes 5 to 15 miles per hour. The extended forecast, the 7-day, it's going to show that we do crack into 50 territory by Saturday. There's a shower chance on Sunday, and then it gets a little bit cooler by Monday, but not horribly so, just dropping back into the upper 40s for a couple of days.
All right. Hey, I'll take a couple days of 50s if I can get them. Thanks, Dave.
All right.
A Duluth company with more than a century of business under its belt is shifting gears during the COVID-19 pandemic. Duluth Pack has brought all of their workers back to the factory to sew hospital gowns for healthcare workers. President and CEO Tom Sega says the company's initial goal is to make 1,000 gowns and donate them to hospitals all over the country. He says it's been tough enough material to make the gowns, but luckily another local business, Stormy Cromer, a cap maker in Ironwood, Michigan, stepped up to help.
Very good friends of ours. Bob and I have known each other for many years, and we just started working on supply chain and how can we get materials, how can we get the labor, and how can we pull this off and make it happen so the frontline workers can get what the need is right now, and that's a lot of gowns.
Sega told us those gowns could be used by healthcare workers right here in the Northland. 2 Midwestern financial companies have come together to help fire-devastated businesses in Grand Marais rebuild. Compere Financial set up a $10,000 recovery grant for the 3 businesses destroyed by fire on Monday. CoBank matched those funds, bringing the total to $20,000. They're encouraging other groups to pitch in to help the downtown business district recover. The fire destroyed a cafe and 2 gift shops in the heart of Grand Marais. The Northland Foundation is coordinating the grant.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, many are using this time as a way to help others in need. With the help of her tenants, one Duluth apartment manager in the Woodland neighborhood is giving it back to those who need it most. CBS3's Emma Quinn shares their story.
As a way to help those in need, Pegra Cobb started a food drive at her apartment complex she manages, and her tenants stepped up and helped out any way they could.
Cobb came up with the idea because she wanted to help those in need, especially children during the coronavirus pandemic. She has 27 units in the Shadow Ridge apartment complex she manages and lives in. So she put a call out to her tenants, asking them to leave a bag of food outside their doors. She collected between 40 and 50 bags filled with food Wednesday morning, put them in her car, and drove them down to Union Gospel Mission in Duluth.
And the people are so nice up there, and they're all giving people. And we just know when you open your cupboards and you see the food you have, it just makes sense to share it.
Cobb has been donating to Union Gospel Mission for several years now. Some of her 27 tenants even gave a cash donation if they weren't able to donate food.
Cobb manages several other apartment complexes. She'll be doing food drives at those next week, and those donations will be going to Chum.
Thanks, Emma. Coming up tonight, we'll hear from those working at Union Gospel.
Still to come, Best Buy has announced a temporary furlough of employees due to COVID-19. Find out how many people this will impact when we come back.
And how the Minnesota Education Commission is adjusting during uncertain times.
Call A1 Movers today to schedule a free office relocation estimate. We have all the necessary tools and experience to help streamline your business's change of address. Our friendly, uniformed crew will carefully relocate and protect both your new and existing facility. Whether across the street or around the globe, one call hauls it all. Take the burden off of your staff and put it on ours. Remember, moving is hard. Calling A1 Movers is easy.
Take on your to-do list. Save $40 on any AK Series double battery bundle. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Always at a local steel dealer.
Hi, Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz here. During this unprecedented battle against the COVID-19 virus, I want to say how grateful I am for Minnesota's willingness to help one another. I also want to make sure that I say, continue to watch your local news stations. Local news and local newspapers are putting out facts and not fear, and that's what it's going to take to get through this together. If you need more information, please go to the Minnesota Department of Health website. Together, Minnesotans will defeat this and come out better on the other side. Thank you.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Sports are my passion and the love of my life. And when you watch a sportscast, the biggest compliment that I get is that you seem so excited about what you're talking about. And that's not an act for me. Who doesn't want to see someone, deliver their news in a fun way? So if you love it, I love it, you're going to see the authenticity that I think I bring to CBS3 Sports.
Watch Sports with Kelly Hinseth on CBS3.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
One vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said, but what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
When news happens, CBS3 is there. We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news.
Anytime, day or night. More cases of the coronavirus are popping up across the Northland.
The only confirmed cases in northeastern Minnesota.
Do not go shopping today unless you absolutely must. Do not collect any
equipment unless you absolutely need it today.
The Northland has seen its first coronavirus-related death.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, tune to CBS3.
Minnesota-based Best Buy is laying off 50,000 workers. Starting Sunday, the layoffs will impact the company's hourly employees. That includes nearly all of Best Buy's part-time staff. A financial downturn has also led the company's CEO to cut her salary in half. Some Best Buy stores have closed completely during the pandemic. They've also stopped in-home deliveries and installations. Employees at the Duluth location tell us about 70 employees there have been laid off. Meanwhile, Duluth's Goodwill is also temporarily laying off hundreds of employees. The nonprofit's 12 Northland stores have been closed since mid-March due to COVID-19. Layoffs for nearly 300 employees, many who are special needs workers, starts tomorrow.
Minnesota students are about 2.5 weeks into distance learning. Right now, the biggest question is how long they'll have to keep it up. We asked Minnesota's Department of Education Commissioner Mary Catherine Ricker during a one-on-one interview today. As of right now, students are set to continue distance learning through the end of the month. Ricker says there's no clear answer on if that will change. She says she's in constant communication with the governor, filling him in on how everything has been going so he can make an informed decision. No matter what, Ricker says she feels teachers are prepared for whatever comes next.
As we move forward, as we look to what decisions need to get made next, that our school communities feel that they have some confidence coming out of this distance learning period for whatever might come next.
Riker offered some tips for how students can stay engaged through distance learning. She said if a student is not feeling successful, they should talk to their teacher for support. Students should also be crystal clear on what's expected from them. Riker says parents can help by asking students a lot of questions about what they learned that day and how things have been going. By the way, Wisconsin students will be distance learning until the state's public health emergency is over. Michigan will distance learn for the rest of the school year.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, new numbers tonight as officials worry about the growing outbreak in nursing homes across the country. Plus our interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci, why he says a vaccine could be closer than previously thought. And keeping fit while staying at home, the creative ways people are getting in their workouts when gyms are closed. That's all tonight right here on the CBS Evening News.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over-the-air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Asbestos diseases like mesothelioma, lung cancer, and asbestosis can be devastating. That's why I called Asbestos Disease LLC. They were there when I needed them most. Asbestos Disease LLC helps victims and family members who were exposed to asbestos get the compensation they deserve from big companies and bankruptcy trusts. Call Asbestos Disease LLC at 800-547-4189. Get the right help when you need it most.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS3 News with Kristen Vaki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Hi, John with Prime Appliance, and our big 6% instant rebate sale has been extended through May 15th. Take another 6% off our entire in-stock and on-sale selection. Get your clothes sanitized with these stackable or side-by-side GE laundry pairs in blue, white, or titanium. All with high temperature boost to keep your laundry safe and clean, now starting at just $16.45 after rebate. Financing always available. Get it delivered or take it home today. Prime Appliance in Superior, the best place to buy your appliances.
What is the 2020 census? Every 10 years, the census records everyone living in this country. It's written in the Constitution and comes in a questionnaire that counts everyone who lives at your address on April 1st. The data can be used to inform funding for services like fire stations, schools, clinics, and representation that affect your community. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over-the-air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News live at 5. Here is a live look over Canal Park this Wednesday evening. Pretty mild day today. Now let's take a quick look At today's top stories, more than 80 million Americans are expected to see a stimulus payment of $1,200 or more in their bank accounts starting today. According to the Treasury Department, financial experts we spoke with recommend that instead of going out and spending that money, people should take time to analyze their financial situation and pay for critical expenses like debt first.
As a way to help those who need it most, Pegger Cobb held a food drive at the apartment complex she manages, and her tenants stepped up and donated as much as they could. Cobb came up with the idea because she wanted to help those in need, especially children, during the coronavirus pandemic. She has 27 units in the Shadow Ridge apartment complex she manages and lives in. So she put a call out to her tenants, asking them to leave a bag of food outside their doors. And tonight at 6, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says the state has the lowest rate of coronavirus infection in the country. He cited that statistic as evidence the state's stay-home order is working. The number of cases in Minnesota is growing, but health officials say it's staying steady with no sudden spikes. And that's good news for hospitals.
Did you have a surprise at your bank account this morning?
I did have a surprise. Yeah, that was unusual.
Yeah, very unusual. Yeah, I'm stashing mine away, saving it in case of emergency. We're fortunate enough to have jobs, so just keep it there in case an emergency.
So you're taking the advice from the financial
Absolutely,
folks we heard from. Well, that's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you back here at 6.